I did films in the 80s and 90s, and for me to be relevant today is a very, very big thing. When I left films, okay, when the stardom was taken away from me, I saw a shift in my personality. I think we had it a lot easier back then. There was less judgment, social media. There were less people to criticize. The only way that I gauged my stardom was, if I would be getting more offers.
Hi everyone, welcome to Tell Me All. I'm Swati Chopra and today we have with us the incredible Neelam. So let's get ready to hear it all. Hi, welcome to the Quint.
What do you want to know?
We want to know everything. Are you ready?
Oh, it depends. It really depends. What subject you want me to spill the beans on?
Everything that you're comfortable with. Let's start with that.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
I want to take you right to the beginning when you came to the city. What was that like?
It was all destiny and everything just sort of fell into place for me. I was born in Hong Kong, did my schooling there. Then from Hong Kong, we shifted to Bangkok. And that's when I got the movie offer. Did I ever imagine I would become a Bollywood actress? Never. Okay, I never had any intention. I got the offer and I used to come to Bombay every year for my vacations. So my best friend, it was her birthday, and I was at her birthday party. And back in the day, you had those big video recorders.
Camcorders.
Camcorders. So her dad, who happened to be the producer director of my first film, he was taking a video of the birthday party. And someone must have hit me on my back or something, and I gave that boy a really dirty look. And he was like, "Who is that girl?" And that is the girl I want for my next movie.
Wow.
So he knew my parents, and one thing led to another. They called up my dad, and my dad absolutely refused. My mom refused. They didn't even tell me.
Okay.
And it just came out of my dad's mouth after a few months that you've got a movie offer from Ramesh Behel. So why aren't I doing it? So why can't I try it out? So dad was like, "Listen, hold on, you're still in school." Uncle said that the next time she comes to Bombay for her vacations, let me do her screen test. So I did my first screen test and I absolutely loved it. The lights, the cameras, the makeup on my face. I think it was just my calling, and I think I was just destined to do this. So initially I was supposed to do this one film and go back, which never happened.
But once you're bitten by the bug.
God was kind, and I was, I had one hit after another. At such a young age, I saw a lot of stardom, and there was just no turning back.
We're so glad, and you're still sitting here going strong. So we're very happy that
Thank you.
camcorder caught you. And caught that reaction of yours, which has you sitting here today with us.
I mean, I'm sitting here today, and I honestly sometimes have to pinch myself that, once again, at this age, I'm back in the limelight. I did films in the 80s and 90s, and, for me to be relevant today is a very, very big thing. So many people out there have shown their love, and, for me, it's I don't say it enough, but I'm extremely grateful.
Things have changed.
Yes.
I'm thinking way back in the 80s, I don't think actors could think that, 20 and 30 years down the line, we'd still be relevant doing work. So I think that speaks volumes of the way the industry has evolved as well, right?
I think the industry, I think the audiences, I think, there's just so much of opportunities now out there for an actor. Finally, I think, women are getting a chance to, do what they want to do and succeed.
If I could take you back again to your first film and, the initial first few films, do you remember what those days were like for you? Of course, I already gather that you enjoyed the limelight and, you were enjoying being on sets. But do you remember the challenges that came with something so overwhelming of being in the spotlight?
I want to tell you, it was extremely difficult. There was just a lot of hard work, a lot of hours put in. I was doing my Hindi training, acting training, dancing, all at the same time. So it was very, very hard. It all seemed very glamorous to me.
Yeah.
And I remember before the film started, and I used to go for dance rehearsals, then I had my Hindi classes, then I had my acting classes. I was like, God, what did I sign up for? This is hard work.
Yeah.
I mean, people out there think it's, you know, it's easy, it's glamorous, the limelight.
It's back-breaking work.
It is.
Like you said, you know, you're relevant even today, and which is great, right? But if you had to look back to the 80s and the 90s, and you look at your time today on the sets, what do you think is very different, shockingly different, and you wish you had it back in the 80s?
Well, today I see a lot of women on set.
Yeah.
Which is a great thing, you know,
Yeah.
be it ADs, be it makeup artists,
Yeah.
be it, you know, directors. I wish back then I had more women on set. I mean, the only woman that was on set along with me was my hairdresser, and that
Yeah.
was it. It's totally different to the 80s and 90s when we worked back then. You know, the unit became a family.
Yeah.
You know, everyone just became so close. I don't see that so much now.
You know, a lot of actors I speak to who've been a part of the industry since the 90s say exactly that. They say that, you know, now it's all about you're done, pack up, back to the vanity vans, you're doing your own thing on your phones and you're out. It's like that the
Yeah.
feeling of a unit is not really there on most sets.
Correct. I mean, not that I've done a movie of late, but
Yeah.
I'm just, that's the vibe that I get. We used to get together, we used to meet, and it was just more homely, let's put it this way.
Yeah, yeah. If you could change, say, one thing, you know, being on sets today, what would that be? And if the 80s was something...
I would say the number of hours.
It's more now?
It's more now. I
Yeah.
mean, now it's like a 12-hour day.
Yeah.
And, you know, when you're shooting outdoors, it's sometimes grueling because, you know, it's 12 hours plus makeup, you know, plus travel times. I miss the good old days when it was one shift was 9 to 6, 7 to 2.
Oh.
You know, that's how we worked.
Wow.
And also we were doing, sometimes there were days where I'd be shooting for 3 films in one day. So
Then how would you do that? See, 9 to 6 and 3 films a day. Then you were working round the clock.
So my makeup stayed the same. It's not like I was doing different characters.
Right.
So it was just the commute. So
Yeah.
I would finish off one shift,
Yeah.
go for the next.
Right.
Sometimes I wouldn't, you know, I'd be working around the clock like 24 hours.
Yeah.
But that was on very rare occasions. But yes, shooting 2 films in a day was very common.
When you look back at your journey, what are some of the biggest challenges that you faced along the way? And you said, hey, listen, I'm resilient enough and I'm going to overcome them. And you did.
For me, because I was born and brought up in Hong Kong,
Yeah.
I think for me it was my language.
Yeah.
My Hindi, you know, I found that very challenging. Even though I had the best memory,
Yeah.
I mean, they used to give me my dialogues in Roman English, and I used to ratify the lines. Fut. I was like a popat. I used to read it twice, and I used to be shot ready. And in those days, it's not like you had a bound script.
Yeah.
We used to get our dialogues on set.
Yeah.
Like ready for the shot, the writer would be still writing the lines. God, you know, if I had that today, I'd be under so much stress because, I mean, my memory is not like how it used to be. I mean, I would just die having pages and pages of dialogues just before the shot. Not happening now.
You know, today there's so much talk about how the sets are like, right? When an actor comes, there's an entourage and things like that. Way back, it was none of that. The actor showed up, did hair, makeup, and just shot. Do you think these luxuries are great and you wish you had them back then? Or you're like, listen, I was okay back then, I'm okay even now?
I lie, I love the luxury. I think you should ask this question to the producers.
Yeah.
Okay, because I think for them it's a burden. Earlier it was a lot simpler. You know, you had your makeup artist,
Yeah.
you had, my Masi did my clothes, so,
Okay.
you know, she would be in and out of the set. It was way simpler. Life was much simpler back then.
Yeah. So you prefer the 80s and the 90s to now?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. It was just more, there was a lot more love, warmth, and, you know, there was a lot more unity.
Yeah. Again, I'm telling you, you're exactly echoing sentiments of most of the actors from the
Is
90s.
it really?
Really.
I remember when we would go for an outdoor, like the whole unit, we used to have such a blast, and if, you know, it was time to go back home,
Okay.
everyone was actually sad that,
Aw.
you know, we've had so much fun. Everyone's bonded.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that must be happening today as well.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those really stark differences, though. And those days, the actor's life was so protected in a way, right? There was this mystery around the actors, but today we know everything about them, as much as actually the actors lead on to give us, right? From whatever I make out, you are a private person and you like to keep it like this. So do you find it kind of challenging to adjust to this new world of social media and the importance given to actors being seen and papped?
Yes, there is a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
Like my PR team keeps on telling me, you need to post more, you need to post more. I'm like, but what do I post?
Yeah.
No, but having said that, jokes aside, I think social media has its pros and cons.
Yeah.
Like for example, for my business, my jewelry business, it's a game changer, honestly, because having presence on social media, because your reach is all around the world. I just feel that you got to be seen, and I think social media has really, like I said, it has its pros and cons.
Yeah. What is the difference you notice between the crop of actors today and back when you started off?
One thing I must say is that I think we had it a lot easier back then. You know, there was less judgment, social media. There were less people to criticize. The only way that I gauged my stardom was, you know, if I would be getting more offers, the box office collections, and that was it.
Yes.
And of course, fan mail. I remember when season 1 dropped, my DM just exploded. The amount of love and yeah, the
How
messages
nice.
that I got, it just made me realize once again that, wow, you know, I do have a huge fan following out there.
Yeah. And that
Yeah.
people missed you, so we're glad you're back, right?
I'm glad they missed me.
Yeah. So then why did we have to miss you? Why did you take a break?
Well, because I just felt that the kind of films that I was getting, I was not happy with. Kind of roles I wasn't happy with. And I just realized that my shelf life was over. And I said, it's time to quit. And I'd rather quit when I'm on the top rather than just fade away.
Yeah. Your
It
films.
was very, very hard to do.
Yeah.
I have to be honest, it was like one of the most difficult decisions of my life. And luckily, I had a very supportive family, and I did have a plan B in place.
Yeah.
You know, my jewelry business, and that is something that I knew that I would always do.
Like you said, it was very difficult to kind of step away. As an actor, when you're so used to all of this, the fanfare, the spotlight, does it then become extremely, say, difficult to live a life without it initially?
I wouldn't say that I went through depression or anything.
Yeah.
I went through a low because after having all this adulation, having people recognizing you wherever you go, you're given the importance, you know, when you go for, you know, a function or whatever. I saw it all diminishing. So it's very, very difficult for an actor to accept that. It takes tremendous family support, and it takes tremendous strength from within as well.
Yeah.
I mean, it was hard for me to just say bye to it all. And however, I did make a comeback, not really a comeback. My last film I did with was Hum Saath Saath Hai. That came after I quit. Because Suraj ji, you know, said that, you know, I've written this role with you in my mind and you have to do it. So that is one film that I did say yes to, and you know, thank God I did.
Yes, a little earlier you mentioned about getting fan mail, and that kind of made you feel the love that was there for you out there, right? What's the craziest fan moment you've had till date? Or a fan mail you've received?
It's crazy and it's freaky and it's spooky.
Okay.
So I had this one guy who used to write letters to me in his blood.
That's very scary.
It's very scary.
Yeah.
Whoever was handling my fan mail, and you know, I used to personally sign, autograph my pictures, and I used to post it and send it. I was like, send him 5-6 pictures quickly. So he stops doing this. It used to freak me out.
You've been a part of so many films. Which is that one film that's the closest to your heart, or a film set that you still look back and say, wow, that day on the set was just fabulous?
I have very fond memories of Hum Saath Saath Hai because I made real friends on that set.
Yes.
You know, be it Sonali, be it Lolo, be it Tabu. I think that was memorable because we just constantly had a blast on set because there were so many of us. And I think another film that I really enjoyed doing, I loved playing that character. The role just suited me perfectly was a film called Ek Ladka Ek Ladki. That was with Salman Khan.
Yes.
Yeah, so shooting for that film was a lot of fun.
It's really nice. I'm going to move away now from the films. And, you know, in our lives, we all have these moments or memories, right? Or instances in our lives that kind of help us evolve as people because the experiences that we are collecting, we are all products of that at the end of the day, right? Is there an instance or an experience that comes to your mind that you feel you saw a shift in you as a person?
There are lots of experiences. I mean, like when I left films, okay? When the stardom was taken away from me, I saw a shift in my personality. I just felt like I was appreciating things a lot more.
Yeah.
I matured during that time as well. A lot of realizations dawned on me.
Yeah.
That, you know, not that I took things for granted, but God was very kind.
Yeah.
I was blessed that, you know, without having to sort of hustle, you know, movie offers and good films came my way. So yeah, that did change me a bit. I think this every stage in life, once you get married, that changes you as a person. You become more tolerant, you become more understanding. Once you become a mother, then again, you know, life teaches you so much more. You tend to appreciate your own mom and parents, you know, for all that they've done and sacrificed.
You kind of parent your kids seeing what your parents have done, but I realize that it can't be the same way today.
Do
you also feel the same?
Yep. Like when my daughter was about 4 or 5, she was very naughty, you know, and jumping on couches and
how cute,
bouncing all over the place. I know that's what kids do, right? And I'm that kind of mom, strict mom that no, this is not okay. And Sameer used to be that, listen, just leave her alone. She's a child, let her be. I believe in this, that you've got to be their friend. And what Sameer was saying was right, that, you know, times have changed. You know, like our parents, the way they were with us, it cannot happen anymore. That parenting cannot work today. Like I can say today that I've done, you know, multiple trips with my daughter, and I feel like she's one of my best friends because she's matured. Even though she's 11, she's like my best buddy.
How nice is that?
I can discuss a lot with her.
You know, like you were saying, marriage changes you, being a mother changes you, a career shift changes you. When we are married, right, we kind of pick up things from our partners, the good and the bad. What are some of the influences that Sameer has had on you in a good way? Like I said,
one big thing, Sameer has made me antisocial. I used to go out a lot more. I think like his not wanting to go out and chilling in his boxes watching TV, I think that's rubbing off on me slowly. People may not believe this, but I used to have a temper, quite a temper, very short temper.
You seem like it's really calm and
No,
zen.
you seem, but ask Sameer. Ask Sameer. You know, thanks to him, I've managed to cool it down a little bit because he gives me no other choice. He doesn't take my shit.
Neelam, before we go, if you had to debut today, what do you think that would look like?
Well, like I've always maintained and I've always said that my debut I would want it to be with Ranveer Singh. And nobody else.
If it was the films and, you know, like if you had to be an actor today, do you think it'd be more difficult or simpler to kind of get into the industry at this point?
Yes, I mean, a lot now it's just a lot harder because there's a lot more pressure on the actors today.
Thank you so much for talking.
Thank
It's always
you.
a pleasure.